All right, it says we are live, so hopefully everyone can hear and see okay today. Welcome to Just One More Fish. My name is Josh, and today we're going to talk about auctions. We just came off of the MASI auction in St. Louis yesterday. Huge event. I'm guessing there was 250 to 300 people in the room at various times. Over 500 lots available, and some people carried out several large coolers of fish. I have no idea how big their fish rooms are. I took a lunchbox and I fit what I could. There were some serious buyers there. If you get a chance, and if you guys let me know, make sure everything's coming through okay. Is the video clear? Little Egypt Aquarium Club is here. Hey guys, how's it? Good to see you. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is a club that I'm in here in the local St. Louis area. We meet in Belleville. And if anybody's available, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's March 8th. They're having a huge pet expo. It's not just about fish. It sounds like we're going to have somebody's bringing some pigs in. I don't know what kind of pigs. I didn't get a chance to see that. Possibly some reptiles, snakes, things like that. And, of course, we're going to be loaded on fish equipment and supplies. So, all right, looks like AV is good. Thank you, Zen. Bradley Renniger, yep, we're good to go. All righty. So I'll get to some of the comments here in a few minutes. I want to talk about yesterday, the auction. If anybody here got a chance to go, they had a lot of stuff. It was insane, the amount of things that they had for sale. The amount of plants was really surprising. And if I ever hear the word Java again, I may lose it. Like, I seriously just may flip my lid. They sold so much Java moss, so much Java fern. It was absolutely insane. But other than that, it was a great time. The one disappointment I had about the auction is there's probably 20, 30 people all volunteering their time, working really hard to make this a fun event for the other 200 people there. And the other 200 people there seem to complain a lot about it. And it just kind of sat wrong with me. I kind of have this feeling that if you have something to complain about, find a way to make it better instead of sitting and complaining. If any of those people are watching, I'm sorry. I hope I don't offend you. They worked really hard on this auction. You could tell they had 6 people up at the front taking notes and getting the tickets out to everybody. They even had kids that volunteered their time. Looked like maybe 10 years old, running up and down the aisles holding fish. Took great care of the fish. They handled them with care. There was even a few items the kids bid on, and everyone was kind of rooting for them. But there was a couple guys that beat them out on some of the stuff, so it's kind of sad for those kids. But they looked like they had a blast, and they had everything. Cichlids. I wish they would have had a few more killies. I was able to score a couple different killifish. Guppies, just about anything you could imagine, they had it there. All freshwater, of course. There's no salt water. So for things that we found, I was able to get some of the Funnelopanchex gardneri. I was also able to get some of the Australian gold Aphyosemians. Those I'm absolutely in love with. I sat out here last night working on videos, and like every 15 minutes, I ran back to the tank they were in just to stare at them for a minute because I can't believe I have them. They're so gorgeous. I can't wait to work with those. Was also able to find some purple Moscows, and then I got some other cobra guppies. They're called aqua cobra. They weren't really cheap. I threw a couple of dollars at them to see what they look like. Looks like they have a little bit of an aqua teal color to them, so it's kind of an interesting, different look to that fish. And we got a few plants. Other than that, not a whole lot that we bought. That was pretty much my budget for the show. I was really surprised with how many Corys went. Corydoras were selling for crazy prices. Plants were selling for crazy prices. 10-gallon aquariums were going for $15. It was interesting. I think a lot of people got into the I don't want to lose momentum thing and decided just to keep bidding, even though it was at that point no longer worth the money that they were spending. But hey, if it's worth it to them, great. So the thing that I want to talk about with auctions, they did have some issues. They were having a hard time finding people. One thing that I think an auction could do better is have some people in the back that are flagging down the actual auctioneers, letting them know that we have a bid over here, over there. With that said, anytime I wanted to put a bid in, I had no problem being seen. I don't know if it's because I'm huge and I was wearing a bright white shirt. Could have been that I just was sitting close enough, but there was times I was in the back of the room, and if I really wanted to get a bid in, it was not hard for me to get seen. There were several people who were upset, but you didn't hear them say anything until after the auction was over. You didn't see them moving around or anything like that. They just sit in their chair. They kind of hold the sign up, and if they didn't get caught, they get upset about it. So, yeah, I think that the ones who put the auction on, for what they had to go through to get that together, to put that event together, they did a fantastic job. Could it have been better? Yeah, but anything in this world can be better. So maybe next year I might even volunteer to be one of those flaggers to help find people who are putting bids in. In fact, I got kind of to the point where I was tired of the people sitting near me talking about not getting caught for bids. So I just went to the back and started waving people down anyway, and actually had a good time doing that for a little while. So anyways, what we're talking about today is auctions. I want to know what kind of stuff you guys have found. What's your success been with auctions? My theory on the auction was that we're able to get fish that are bred locally. So maybe they don't have the issues that you catch buying the same fish through a store. A lot of the fish that I found you couldn't even get locally in a store. You had to buy them online or buy them from a local breeder. A lot of the Corys especially were kind of rare breeds. So yeah, I just want to see what kind of success you've had with them. Horror stories, have you ever gotten any that were awful and you wish you would have just went to the store to buy them? I will say I am disappointed with the Cobras. Of course, I only paid $7 for 2 pairs, so that's not bad. But I didn't realize till I got home that one of them's completely crooked. The spine's so bad, I'm not going to be able to keep that one in the tank. So that was a bit of a disappointment. But overall, everything else is in great health. I woke up this morning, the purple Moscows are looking beautiful. When I bought them, they didn't look real purple anymore. So we went on faith for that one. And it turned out great this morning. I'm really loving them. Just so everybody knows, I plan on having a video out within the next hour after the video here ends that shows some of the things that were going on there at the auction and flips to the fish I brought home and an update on how they're doing. I also would like to send a big thank you to Fishy Biz Aquatics. If you get a chance, check out Fishy Biz Aquatics. I'm going to throw a link in the post for you or in the comments. There it goes right there. Really cool guy. He does some pretty interesting videos. He lives about 40 miles away from me. I ran into him. He's actually did an opening scene for the next video that I'm going to play. So that's kind of a cool thing. I'm looking forward to doing some stuff with him. Maybe we can get together and do some fish room videos and things. All righty. So let's see what else we've got here for comments. I appreciate everybody coming out. Looks like we've already got 12. That was our max last week. So 12 is that's wonderful. I'm glad to have that many people here. Little Egypt, of course, that's awesome. I'm glad to see them here. I really want to get them boosted up. If you're local, definitely look on Facebook for the Little Egypt Fish Club or Aquarium Club. Great group of people. They will help you out with a lot of issues. Let's see here. Donnie, I told you people would come. Thank you, Donnie. I'm glad you're here. And if you do have comments specifically for me, if you don't mind just putting them at Just One More Fish, that way it's easier for me to find. I hate doing the part where I'm trying to scroll through stuff. I'm sure that bores everybody, but it's only my second video, so we're kind of learning how this works. Little Egypt says we're going to have mini potbelly pigs. So that, I believe, was March 8th. If you decide you would like to get some mini potbelly pigs, and lots of dog merchandise, that would be a cool place to go if you're local. Alien World Aquatic says, do you usually end up paying higher than the average price of a fish in the auction, or do you end up getting really good deals? I will say on the purple Moscows I bought for an average, if you go to, we'll just say Petco, and you're looking for blue Moscows, because they don't really have purple Moscows, the blue Moscows run $3.99 a piece. I was able to get those. They averaged out to $3.66 a piece. So that's pretty fair price. I know that if I get them breeding and I get them line bred and I'm getting the colors I want, they're going online for $20 a pair. And that's, that's pretty average for, actually, that's kind of cheap for what they are. I've seen them going for much higher than that. And if they get the dark purple ones, those are $100+ a pair. So I don't think we did too bad on that one. The killifish, we're going for about $20 a pair. Again, not bad. If you look online, I think they run $15 to $17 a piece. Plus you have to pay shipping. So you're looking at $30 plus shipping for a pair of, say, the Funnel of Henchek's Gardener Eye. You're looking at $50 for a pair of them, and I got them for $22. So I really didn't feel too bad there. On the other end of that, there are other bags of the blue Moscow guppies that went for way higher. They started out early at $45, $47. Somehow I snuck mine in for about $22. Later in the day, they started going back up. I guess new people were coming in and seeing those and getting excited about them. Little Egypt Aquarium, high-end fish go high, rest are good deals. That is true, which I believe is why the Corys were going so high. But some of those prices, they were paying $12 and $15 for a pretty common Cory. The albino Corys, there was 3 in a bag, and someone paid $44 or something like that for them, which is crazy. I think they're like $6 in the store. Kaler's here, Bob Kaler. Hey, Bob, how you doing? I'm glad to see you here. Little Egypt, that's why I love our club. I love our club too. I'm assuming that's Jeremy talking. He runs the club. Great guy. And he actually built the club because he's looking to get a good group of people, kind of like the Fish Fam, that all work together and take out some of the ego that you get in the bigger clubs. And it's going really well. We're still small, but it's going really well. And I believe he's wanting to expand. So instead of having one monster club in the St. Louis area, he's looking to have smaller clubs in different towns around the area that can maybe get together and meet every now and then, which is a really cool idea. Let's see. I am going to take a drink because the voice is going quickly today. Kaler's Aquatic 8 watching, 2 likes. Let's even up the numbers. I love it when you do that for me, Bob. I appreciate it. Let's see. Don Secora Jr. Yeah, everyone, you got to realize he's talking about used 10-gallon aquariums. Yes. The tanks that were going, I think there was a 15-gallon tall that went for like $30. I mean, it was an interesting shape. And a year ago, I may have been interested in it because I like odd-shaped tanks. But now that I have this room, everything has to fit in its place. So odd shapes just are not going to work for me. Yeah, it seems like certain things, a 10-gallon fish tank that you can buy brand new for $10. Oh, it's got a glass lid with it that doesn't have the plastic strip, but the glass is all there. That's worth at least $20, $22. It got a little bit crazy for some of those. Let's see. There's the link. Oh, my wife says that her and Josiah are here. Hello, Tamar and Josiah. They're in the house and probably laughing at me right now. Troy VSC, I don't think I've talked to you yet. Welcome to Just One More Fish. Glad to see you here. It says my local fish club monthly auction mostly has guppies and bristlenose. Yes, we did have a lot of guppies and bristlenose. In fact, I was on a Facebook page today, and they were complaining. It was a cichlid page, of course, and they were complaining. They're like, I didn't know guppies were worth that much money, and I'm in the wrong business. I should get into guppies, and to think I used to feed guppies to these fish. But they were pretty upset at the amount of guppies that went. But there was a lot of cichlids too. And to be clear, they did have a provision at the auction. If you wanted to bring something forward, I mean, there's 500 bags. There's 30, 40 tables of fish and plants and equipment. And that's just the live auctions. They had walls lined with silent auctions, which is that's actually where I was able to get my gardener eye, was the silent auction, because the ones that went in the live auction went for like $40. And I was able to sneak some off the wall for a silent auction from the same breeder. So I wasn't complaining at all about that for half the price. But yeah, they had the option to bring something forward. So you see something you really want, bring it to the front. You pay a $3 fee to get it moved to the front of the auction. And they didn't guarantee it's the next item, because a lot of people brought stuff up. But then you're only there for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and you're able to bid on what you want and get out. A lot of people didn't like that. And I didn't think that was a terrible deal. I mean, if there's something you really want and you don't have time to sit and wait for it, $3 to save yourself 6 hours. I mean, if time's money, that's a pretty good deal to pay an extra $3 to get, through what you want to see. Me, I didn't have much going yesterday. I probably need to spend more time at home, especially with the family, but my wife was nice enough to tell me to go away for the day. And so I didn't mind sitting there and waiting. And that's why I got some of the deals I got. I wasn't afraid to sit through it. Let's see. Which people brought in more Africans? Yeah, there was actually a lot of South American cichlids. There were quite a few Africans, but the South Americans were pretty heavy. Great deals most of the time, not much variety, whole bunch of used junk. That is true, Troy. The amount of used junk was insane. I didn't know fluorescent lights were still worth as much money as people were spending. A pair of 2-foot fluorescent lights was $25 all day. It was pretty interesting to see. Now, I looked at it and I was like, if they go for like $3 or $4, I'll buy them. And the whole reason I would buy them is my entire room's LED. I really am not a fan of fluorescents, except for on this cichlid tank, and that's just because I ran out of LED lights and had this one sitting here. But the plan I had was to go ahead and drill them all out, replace everything with LED, and just use the housings. And if I can get them for $1 a piece, that might be worth it. But at $15 for a used light, I just didn't see that being something that was worth doing. Still 5 people slacking, says Zen Ginger. So she's telling everyone to hit like. She did it. She got a lot of them. We're up to 11 likes out of 12 people. And the one person who doesn't like it may be my wife. I don't know. No, she would have hit like by now. All righty. So we've got 13 people in here now. Let's hear your stories. Is there anything that you've looked for in auctions? Things that have happened in auctions that have been frustrating to you? Things that have happened in auctions that have been fantastic and wonderful? Great stories, things that you found that you didn't think you would ever get for your fish room. For me, the Australia Gold, I didn't even know that thing was going to be here. I was waiting until we have the Killifish Association coming to town in St. Louis. Yeah, we're real fortunate to have that. And they're coming June or July. And I was going to wait until then and go get this fish. And then I saw it and I said, well, I'm just going to get it today. So that was a huge surprise for me. And the wife says, yes, I did like it. So that's good. I'm glad. Donnie says, just one more fish. The plants were going almost as high as the cichlids. The plants were going higher than the cichlids in some case. We actually were joking over a few of them because now I have to say these plants were huge. It wasn't like going to the store and someone brings in the little pot with a couple of stems sticking out of it. We're talking large bags of plants. A lot of those were going for $30, $40, all different types. And even though we heard Java moss like way too much yesterday, I do have to say at the end of the day, it was selling for almost as much as it was at the beginning of the day. And I think that's due to the fact it's hard to find in a store that's not grown outside of water, like tissue cultures. As soon as you put that in the water, most of it melts off, and then you have a fight on your hands. These were all grown, submerged in tanks. One fella said he had a 75-gallon tank. He couldn't even see the fish anymore, so he cleared a bunch of it out, brought it to the auction. They were selling like large bags of Java moss, and $15 is really not bad for that. But yeah, some of the other plants went really high, and I'm not really big into the planted tanks yet. I started out doing freshwater, switched over to saltwater for a while, still had freshwater. I really wanted to get a reef going and play with coral. I did it, and at the end of the day, I was like, I did it. It's cool. And then I sold that tank, and now I'm working on plants because that's something I haven't done much of. Let me kill the notifications because I don't want to have everybody hear that go off all day. So yeah, I'm new to the whole plant game. It's something that we're kind of checking out. The wife wants me to put a big planted 75 in the house. I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to do that. Right now I'm working with a lot of low light, simple setups, nothing that you have to use CO2 or anything like that on. I had a really bad experience with CO2 in my office. It made a huge mess. My wife says, yes, I'm assuming that she wants the tank in the house. I'm going to tell you that's huge. Anytime my wife says, yes, put a tank in the house, that's huge. I had to fight for a long time to get fish tanks back in the house. And I think she really likes them now, probably because I'm doing a better job of taking care of them. The first tank we had, I did not do a great job, and it didn't go well. And then I was on the road a lot. It was just a mess. But yeah, the idea for I picked up a 75-gallon rimless. It was actually a custom-built tank. The person I got it from said that her uncle paid $1,500 for the tank, built the stand himself, and then decided he didn't want a 75, he wanted a 150. So he went and had a 150 custom built. So this went to her house. She didn't know what to do with it. She actually gave it to me. I was shocked. No cost. If I could come pick it up that night, it was mine. So we did. Went and picked it up. And I'm thinking about doing something a little more 3D with that tank. I'd like to have the driftwood actually coming out of the top, have moss hanging off of it into the water. Be something interesting to try. Haven't quite decided yet if we're going to do that or not. Troy VSC. One auction got 4 electric blue haps, 4 electric yellow labs, 4 juvie red empress for $10 total. Wow. For $10 total, that would not have happened yesterday. Next auction bought 6 juvie red empress for $1. There are deals to be made. Yes, there are. And honestly, that was my goal for yesterday, was to sit there till the very end and snag up a few things for $1 a piece. We stayed. There was probably about 50, 60 bags left on the table. I was tapped out. I spent all my money. I bought everything that I came to get. And at that point, I didn't have another $1 to throw in there if I found a good deal, but nothing was going for $1. In fact, there was a running joke the entire auction from this one guy, and he would throw $1 on everything. It was getting pretty comical. I'll do $1. I'll do $1. And towards the end, he won a fish bowl for $1, like a little goldfish beta bowl. And people were moaning. They're like, "Oh, you shouldn't even have one of those." And he's like, "It's my $1 item. I got my $1 item." So that was kind of a fun joke going around. But yeah, there wasn't anything going that cheap yesterday. It was hard to find anything it was hard to find anything under 10. I mean, I got half a bag of a mixture of sand and substrate, some like Eco Complete substrate. I think I paid $6 for half a bag of that. I mean, that's not a bad deal, but that was about the cheapest thing out there. If it was a fish, it was going for at least $15 to $20. It got a little crazy. They did have some electric blue. You said electric blue haps, but they had some electric blue Acaras that I was dying to get, and they just, by the time they came up, I had like $12 left, and they kept going just out of my range. And I kind of set myself up, even though they take debit cards and credit cards, I took cash. Once I'm out of cash, I'm done. I skipped lunch so I could spend extra cash. That's how bad it was. I saw what they had for lunch, and I was like, I can go a little while without food and spend the extra $20 on getting some fish. Troy VSC, plants at our local auctions go pretty cheap. Valves, guppy grass, hornwort, etc. often go for $1 or $2. That was not happening yesterday. That impressed me. The valve, corkscrew valve, Italian valve, that stuff was over $20 all day long. Some of them were really big plants. Some of them were smaller plants in bigger bags, but they were not going cheap yesterday at all. V-Stag, how are you? It's good to see you in here. I think that's the first time I've had you in here. We are 2 people above what we were last week. That's wonderful news. I'm really glad to see that. So we've picked up 2 new viewers at least. Don Sakura, Troy, not at this auction. They were going for 15, sometimes up to 20. That is about what it was. It was pretty crazy. The one thing I didn't like is the redundancy. It seems like it's cool to go to an auction and see something you want and see 2 or 3 bags of it. Great, because someone's going to pay really big for the big bag. Someone's going to pay a little less for the next one, a little less for the third one. When you go to the auction and you see 15 bags all with the same stuff in it, it starts to get kind of old. I think they sold off 8 or 9 bags of purple guppies. Mine were $22. The next cheapest was $36. Everything else was above $40. And it was crazy how that was working. Same thing with the plants. There was a section where it was the same plants over and over and over. Now I get it with the plants that, that's something that may be a little bit easier to sell in high quantity. But when it came to the fish, there was just, I feel like there was like maybe 60 vendors that showed up, and they all brought a ton of fish with them. So it was stacked as to what was there. It was pretty similar stuff. I was really disappointed in the shrimp selection. I was really hoping to find something different. I've already got the cherries, the blue dreams, and the yellow neos, which I just picked up last week. And I was really hoping to see something different. I did find some black rose, but they were only selling like 5 in a bag. I'm looking to buy like 20 at a time when I buy them, and they only had 2 bags of that. They didn't have any yellows, oranges, greens, any other colors. No crystals. I really was hoping to run into some crystal shrimp, black or red. I would have been thrilled. But they were running pretty low on that stuff. Did the Zen Ginger? She is on top of it. I'm gonna have to mod her. Did the two new folks hit the like button with a big smile? It looks like we have 12 people here and 12 likes. I think I scared the 2 new folks off. They got bored with me really fast then. But I appreciate you sticking around. I am going to hit a point where I do need a mod at some point. If anybody's interested, I know a few of the names in here are really busy modding other channels. I'm not going to ask you because I know that you do that quite often. However, if you were interested, I'm not going to deny you the opportunity. So I know Kaylor especially, he's crazy busy. I think Zen does a couple different channels. But if anybody's interested, let's see, Gnarly. Okay, I'll get to that in 1 second. If anybody's interested, you can get a hold of me. My email, josh@justonemorefish.shop. And we'll have a discussion. I want to make sure that whoever's doing it, we're kind of on the same page. I don't want, kind of like Dance Fish does. I don't like going into a page and everybody is a mod. So we're going to keep it really small for a while and just see how that goes. Gnarly says, when you get ready to do a planted tank, I have over 40 varieties and I run 0 CO2. I know you have the plants, Gnarly, and we will be talking some more. I did pick up some water Sprite yesterday. It was something that I went in there and I was like, if I find it, I'm going to grab it. I've never had it before. It was something that I was kind of looking for. I was also looking to get the Christmas moss. I love the way that stuff grows on trees. The Java moss does okay, but I like the way that Christmas moss layers better. And that one, they only had 2 bags all day, which was crazy. As much Java moss as they sold, and they only had 2 bags of the other one. Zen Ginger says, I will always take a wrench. I like a challenge. Well, we may have to talk. Again, send me an email, josh@justonemorefish.shop. I wanted .com, but I wasn't going to pay $1,200 for it when .shop was basically free. But yeah, I'll talk to anyone who wants to send me an email, maybe get one to 2 mods going, and we'll see how that goes from there. All righty. Oh, we're at the bottom of chat. I figured it wouldn't be long before I would start bobbling my words. And we're about 30 minutes in. So if you have anything else you want to talk about, we can open it up to other subjects. We don't have to talk about auctions. We can talk about fish rooms. We can talk about the fish that we keep in our fish rooms. If we don't get too many comments here in the next couple of minutes, we'll probably go ahead and shut it down. I'm not in a hurry to get these things going an hour to an hour and a half if I don't need to. And I don't want to run them too long and bore you guys. So as for what's new here, we did get 3 more tanks added on this wall. They have been cycled. I was able to add in the top tank up here, the white labs, which are really cool. I did not expect to find those locally, but a friend of mine in another town about 30 miles from here, he posted that he had them. I had no idea that he had them, so I got a good deal on those. Lights are off on these tanks because I needed the lights for this. I need to buy more lights. That's what I need to do. But that one's got the purple Moscows, the black Moscows, the hospital tank, and then those are the yellow Cobras. And then we added this tank in. It's a 55-gallon. That one has the illegal crayfish. So that's something we could talk about for a second. The government doesn't always make it easy to find the law on what's legal and not legal in your state. So it turns out I bought these because they were legal in Illinois. I could not find anything saying that you could not own them in Illinois. So I went ahead and ordered them. I had a Fahaka puffer. They're the self-cloning crayfish. And I was thinking free food source. I can switch off between the crayfish and some snails, and the Fahaka puffer would be great. I spent a month and a half working with that Fahaka puffer and could not get the parasites out. No matter what I did, he didn't make it out of quarantine. He ended up dying on me. And it was very sad because those Fahaka puffers, if you ever have a chance to own one, it's seriously like having a puppy dog. The thing, you walk in the room and it acts like you're the best friend that's ever had in the world. And it upset me to lose that one. But now I have a tank full of self-cloning crayfish, and I went to do some sales to maybe get them out of here and found out you cannot ship them over state lines. It's legal to own them in Illinois. It's not legal to ship them from Illinois. So I am now stuck with these things. I did find out the other day that my African cichlids are big enough to eat the small ones, and they love them. So I've tossed a few in there here and there, let them have a few snacks. But I don't know. I'm going to have crayfish for a long time, it looks like, unless I find something else that will take bites of them. Let's see. Donnie says, do you think this might be a time when you can introduce the crossbreeding fish for fun and more beauty thing? I think we're going to do another episode about that one, Donnie, because that's a whole nother conversation. I think maybe then. So next week, I probably won't be here for a show. I have some family things that I have to take care of on Monday. If we get back early enough, I may pop on for 20 minutes or so just to let you guys know what's going on in the fish room. But the week after that, I was thinking maybe we'll do a show about hybrids, specifically because I have hybrid peacocks that I work with, and kind of talking about the debate between why everyone loves or hates their hybrids, and, kind of get everyone's idea on that. Not really trying to start a fight or an argument, but it's a free place to talk. We can all discuss our points, and we may not change each other's minds, but that's okay. At least we all have an open mind and we get to learn something. All righty. Sounds like Kaylor got a new puffer. I think he ordered one from Dan. And that's another thing I'm looking for. I am definitely looking for pea puffers. I was really disappointed those weren't in the show yesterday. I had a tank set aside just for pea puffers. I'm looking to get 5 to 10 of them. Couldn't find any yesterday. So I will be on the watch for that. If anybody finds any, you have my email address now, josh@justonemorefish.shop. If you find a good deal on about 10 of them, let me know. I'll definitely be interested in that. All right. So with that, we're at 32 minutes, 33 minutes. Looks like there's not a whole lot left to say about auctions. No questions about the fish room or anything else. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I appreciate everyone that came out. Again, we hit 14 today, which on a second stream, I did not expect. I thought I would be at 3 or 4 for months. So to have 14 here today is wonderful. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you, all of your input, all of your comments. And Zen, if you don't mind, send me that email and we'll talk about it and see how busy you are. I don't want to overload you if you have a lot going on. So until next time, Josh with Sea Spots Run signing out. Everybody have a great week and take care of those fish. See you later.